What's your theory when it comes to investing in women-led companies?
Well, they're home runs. They're very attentive, very good at paying back money, quick to know when they're in trouble. Women are a good bet.
So you are one of the banking world's most powerful women, but it didn't begin in a very conventional path, right? I mean, tell me how, you said you were a self-described hippie, right? So how did you get there?
I was from a time and period where being hippie probably wasn't so counterculture. When I came out of college, I was an American literature major and an art minor, and I was going to run a gallery or go back and get my graduate degree in English and become a professor. I wasn't going to be in a bank. I would have been horrified to hear I was in a bank. So if my young self had seen my older self, I wouldn't have liked what I saw. But I see that how I evolved, I can do a lot more than I ever could have before. I can see how I can help water come to a village, or get capital for women at an earlier stage, or help the environment. I couldn't have done any of that in what I had imagined.
Well, what is it that you do on a daily basis at Bank of America? Describe, how your role has evolved.
I came in as a pretty conventional job, the chief marketing officer. But today, what I do is work on trying to find ways to deploy capital to some social issues.
What did the financial crisis that you lived through and helped the bank get through, what did you learn from it?
On a professional level, what I learned from it is that you have to be prepared for the future in a way that I don't think any financial institution was. I think that you have to understand what the purpose and the strategy of a company is, and then you have to live those values day in, day out. So we learned that.
You described the financial crisis as one of the most complicated times in your whole professional life. Tell me what you personally learned from that.
I found myself having to take an inventory of everything, including my personal stamina. So in crisis, if you're willing, if you can open your mind to it, rather than panic, you can learn something every day. And there's big adrenaline flow. And that really helped me to see it as a learning moment, and I learned.
You get a whole bunch of CEOs in the banking world in a room. Let's face it, it is a bunch of men.
Well, the CEOs are still men, you're right. I think it's time. I think it will. I don't think the next turn will be all men. All of the things that you're hearing about STEM are affecting who's the CEO of a bank. So when we have more quants, when we have more math majors, when we have more women that have husbands that stay at home, and we have better childcare, et cetera, then you're going to see more women in, as the head of banks.
What are some of the ways that you've encouraged Bank of America to bring back mid-career women? Because they seem to be the ones who feel most left out of the equation.
When they leave the company, if they were a high-performing employee and you would like for them to return, you try to stay in touch with them. So ideally, you're coming back to where you were and you move forward. But as in life, I don't know if that happens on anything. So what you try to do is get them in where you can and get them moving again.
You're the mother of 4 children, so in your own life, did you go off ramp and come back in, or how did it work for you?
Inelegantly. As you know, none of these policies existed when we were young mothers, so I always worked. I never stopped working. But I did have to pedal back at periods of time. I did see other people fly right by me because I couldn't get on a plane, I couldn't work all night. I also have a daughter, as you know, that has a disability. That complicates things further. My obligation is first to her. But I got it. If it's first to her, then it might mean the job is going to take second place for a while. And it's a balancing act. It's organic.
You grew up in a very big family outside of Boston, and what was your early life like?
I came from a large family, but my father was an intellectual. It was a spread out family, and I think that I was allowed to plow my own way, and I felt that I could do that as a child, and I feel like I can do it as an adult.
You're married to Mike Barnacle, who's a celebrated former columnist at the Boston Globe, and of course now we wake up to him on Morning Joe. So how did the dynamic work between you as a husband and wife team, if you like?
We have respect and love for each other, but we have a lot of fun. I think you just have to know every day is not going to be a great day. It just isn't. There are a lot of days, as you know, in your younger life where you're just hoping that you don't have, you know, some kind of spit up on your shoulder as you're having a meeting. I just think if you can settle in as a couple and even as a parent that you've got great ambition, you're going to get to it, you just may not be able to do it in the time frame that you had pre-planned, because life isn't about a plan always.
So what are your words of wisdom for women out there who want to be you?
I don't think there'd be many women that want to be me, but if they wanted to be me, to see opportunities when they come and don't have a preconceived formula, because I wouldn't be doing today what I'm doing today had I had a whole package in advance. So see the landscape for what it is, take an opportunity, take a risk, see if you like it. Maybe you won't, but if you do, it's another step forward, and if you don't like it, it's a lesson learned.
Thank you so much, Anne Finucane. Great words of wisdom.
Thanks, Tina.